with you. Flip a doujin in the bed, I'm reading manga till it's two. Tell me that you love us if I go, I'm knowing that it's true. Cause you acting all moe and vanilla in my view. So this is for them waifus, straight 2D flex in my life, fool. If you fuck with hentai, you my dude. Let the beat right out, keep it nice and smooth, yo. Hello?
Hey everyone, welcome to the weeabooze, the anime podcast where we get drunk and talk about anime. I'm Kyle.
I'm Hunter.
What are we drinking tonight?
Well, today, so I was at the store just like looking through it, and we've gotten to a point where we've like actually drinking a lot of the stuff that's at least sold locally.
Yeah, like readily available.
Yeah, so I looked for the most oddball thing I could find, and it's called it's a prickly pineapple hard cider by Whiter's hard cider. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I mean, if you've ever had like Red's apple ale, it's like that, but replace apple with pineapple.
Yep.
Like it's just like fruity beer.
Pretty well. Is it a beer?
Well, fruity
cider. I mean,
yeah, cider.
So.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it's fine. It's good.
It's fine.
I don't know. We have Mr. Pineapple from Santan. This one tastes a little bit more authentically pineapple. If that.
Well, yeah, because the other is a pineapple flavored beer, and this is pineapple flavored cider.
Yeah.
So
okay, that makes sense. Well, tonight we're talking about Monster Girls.
Monster Girls.
So, I think
something I have no experience in watching.
That's perfect. I think it's really interesting to find the reasoning behind trends, which is why we're talking about Monster Girls tonight, and why they are so damn popular. Mankind was so preoccupied with whether or not they did not stop to think if they should. Thus, Monster Girls were born. So, Hunter, you've never seen anything related to Monster Girls, right?
Well, aside from cat girls,
sure,
kind of appearing. No, nothing. So, and aside from the 3 intros you showed me,
right? So before we started, I showed Hunter. Let's see, the Monster Musume opening, Kantai Collection, and Interview with Monster Girls.
Yes.
What were your opinions on that? First impressions.
So Monster Musume is definitely the one that goes farthest out of its way to be these are actually monsters. These
sure.
aren't just Kantai Collection. Is that the one where they're battleships?
Yes.
They're okay, not really. I was expecting them to have a Sailor Moon-esque transformation into a boat. And start fighting each other, but apparently that's too much to ask for.
I guess so. I would have liked that. Monster Girls seem to be one of the biggest trends in anime at the moment. This season alone has 3 Monster Girl shows, being Dragon Maid, Kimono Friends, and Interview with Monster Girls. And there's a Kickstarter for an OVA called Nekopara.
I've heard about that shit.
Really?
Because, on our anime, because apparently it got $1 million or something.
It's the most generic looking catgirl anime that surpassed its goal, reaching $1 million. There will be a $1 million catgirl anime. That exists now. That is part of our world.
I'm both impressed and disappointed in all of us as a community.
And as you can probably, interpret by now, in regards to tonight's topic, I will be referring to all anthropomorphic anime girls, including cat girls, video game console girls, computer girls, kaiju girls, and boat girls as monster girls. The proper term is genjinka, meaning humanization, but everyone may not immediately know what that means. And now I think our fascination with monster girls is the perfect example of the duality of man. I don't think anyone watches Kantai Collection and says to themselves, yeah, this is a really good show. Our intrigue gets the better of us, and before we know it, we're arguing on forums which boat girl we bang. In fact, I was doing some research trying to recall some examples of anime, and I came across a truly insightful comment from X-Death's Bagel saying, I, for one, love Monster Girls as an expression of the artist's imagination of fusing women and monsters together, as well as contemplating the mysteries of their anatomy and their titties, their big mega milk titties.
They do have really big titties, especially that centaur chick.
Oh, yeah.
She was stacked, dude.
Yeah, that's... What can I say?
I understand that, yeah, it's you combine them, but they still seem to have way more human qualities, because if it was legit Beauty and the Beast style beast monsters, I don't think people would watch it at all.
Right.
It has to be way more. It has to be like a human kind of like template with monster features added, as opposed to the other way around. Otherwise,
Yes.
people would hate it.
Anime,
I guarantee you.
like we'll talk about how monster girls have been around for a long time, but anime was really the first to make them cute. So
Right. Well, in anime, everything's cute. Like
good.
Like
yeah.
shit that's not even like animated. Like inanimate objects are like cute.
Sure.
You'll see like a lamp on a table, and it'll be like a cute lamp.
That's
It'll
an
have like a
adorable
designer,
lamp.
or
Yeah.
something. Like that's literally the point of it. So I'm not surprised that they go that route.
So we'll talk about the pros of monster girls, but
I can't take this topic serious.
it's perfect. It's perfect. It's amazing. We will talk about the pros of monster girls, but first, let me propose my issue with monster girls. And Hunter, you can let me know what you think. Even though
I thought you were
monster,
gonna propose a toast.
no, a toast, a toast to
monster
monster girls. Even though monster girls are objectifying women in the most literal way possible, the genre, if you want to call it one, doesn't objectify that much more than the majority of other anime out there. Of course, that's a problem in and of itself, but I would argue that rather than objectifying women, monster girl anime degrades female characterization to a mere stereotype.
What's the difference, really? I mean, objectifying is a form of degradation, is it not?
Right, but I'm saying we need to look at this through the eyes of fiction. What do I mean by that? Good character design is meaningful character design. Typically, a character's personality is established before they're designed. This is why a Genki, energetic girl is drawn in a different way from an emotionless girl. If you haven't seen Haruhi, you could still line up each cast of... You could line up the entire cast of characters and pretty much pick out who is who and what role they play. Probably even down to the side characters. If we look at Monster Musume, even though you may be able to determine their personality types just by looking at them, and I think that's partially due to color theory, I'm willing to bet that's not what you first notice. Monster girls are their aesthetic first and characters second. Like some
Well,
anime...
I'd associated, I like to kind of put your theory to the test. Like I have no idea what the type of how they act in the show, but like you'd assume that they have a personality akin to whatever animal or monster they're like.
It really depends on the show.
Like whatever they're being drawn as, like the spider bitch is probably like, really like the Black Widow character where it's like man killer kind of thing, right? Like that would make sense.
She is I hope I get this right, a masochist?
Okay.
I can't remember if she's a masochist
Masochist would be enjoys receiving pain.
No, she's a sadist.
Sadist.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that kind of sounds like that. Like that's what I would assume if I saw like Spider, like when you associate like the Black Widow.
Even if that is the
character.
case, like that sucks that she is just that stereotype, isn't it? Like, shouldn't she be unique to her own self and not be, confined by her own design? I mean, it's a little unique in Interview with Monster Girls where the succubus is actually very reserved because she doesn't want her appeal to kind of be contaminating other people in a way. But like some anime, I can just tell that once all the cat girls were designed, someone said, we need a peppy cat girl, a standoffish cat girl, a ditzy cat girl, a tomboy, and maybe like introduce a sexy one like in episode 4. Like, don't do that. Don't write your anime like that. Monster Girl anime make you care about what the girls are, not who they are. The point of Monster Musume is to debate why and how you'd bang each girl. This is the exact same problem with idol anime. Like, the overall concept is forced into a non-existent plot. We should just call these shows best girl anime because that's the only point in watching them, to argue about who is best girl.
Yeah, pretty much.
So.
I mean, I wouldn't assume that there's much story to go on because, I mean, is there story in really any harem type show? Like
I'm sure there are a few out there, but not typically.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like fan service personified into 20-minute episodes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I mean, and I actually called my sister, who's familiar with like both feminist ideals to a certain degree, and she understands like how someone could easily argue that monster girls are objectifying, especially if they're sexual. But as someone who has seen a few anime, she also admits to liking certain designs and thinking they're cute. And that's why I wanted to kind of advocate that they harm female characterization more so than 3D girls.
You're saying I'm a little confused. Are you a fan of it or not?
I don't know.
It doesn't sound like you are.
Well, we're gonna move into like why we do like it.
Yeah.
I just think it's interesting. I'm on the fence. I mean, such is the duality of man. You know, like it's like it's junk food.
That's like way too philosophical of a stance for something like Monster Girls.
That's just who I am. I can't help it. They're bad for the industry and they're popular. Why? Why do I love these sexy cat girls? So, unless you have any more negatives to talk about that you think exist or questions.
Well, I'm going to try to come at this like in as weird as it sounds, like a respectful and unbiased way as possible, because it doesn't really add anything to just like shit on something like this.
Sure.
So I think that the reason that people would enjoy specifically, like, let's go with just cat girl, because I think that there's like levels that people have to get before Monster Musume becomes
Sure.
their thing, right? But with cat girls, like, people like cats, people like cute girls. Both are cute things. Combine them. Like, I understand this thing, right?
Exactly.
So I understand that, like, I mean, we have it at Halloween, dude. There's like people that dress up as the sexy cat or something, right? Somebody will have the ears on,
Yeah.
and that's like literally their entire costume. It's like a black spandex suit, ears, and like a tail. And there's like, and they'd still be sexy, even though they have this small piece of them that is like, you know, anthropomorphic or whatever. It's still like sexy. Like, I can understand that
Cats
appeal.
are sexy.
Well, no, the girl dressed as a cat is sexy. That's the difference.
Okay.
Because, again, back to what I said previously, if it was a cat that was like, that had girl qualities as opposed to a girl with cat qualities, it gets way fucking weirder really fast.
I guess it does. That's a good point.
So I think that the big reason that people like these is that they are girls first, before you have the monster bit added on to it.
Sure.
I think if Monster Musume is probably already a little bit too far for some people, like people that just fucking love cat girls and that's like their shit. I think that some of them probably can't cross the Monster Musume line. And I think that if it ever goes beyond Monster Musume, like to even more like monster-ified, it's going to turn people off of it, because you're losing the aspect that people like, which is
The cuteness.
yes, well, and that it's that underneath all of it, it's still just like a girl, a sexy, cute, whatever girl.
Well, let's see. Like, I don't think there's a problem with a cat girl or two. The problem only arises when an anime has an abundance of female characters. Like, if a monster girl is just an element of an anime and not the entire concept, it's simply appealing to the fetish of these subservient but also cute and playful women. But of course, not every single anime does this. Dragon Maid is fine. It doesn't fetishize anything. At the moment, too much. A more practical reasoning is seen through the perspective of character design. I have no doubt in my mind that it is extremely fun for a character designer to create these anthropomorphic characters.
Oh, totally.
Like, people wouldn't sit down and personify like every single Pokemon as a human if they didn't have fun doing it. I would argue that anthropomorphic character design is far more innovative than your typical character design, even though it may lack substance. I watched Kantai Collection purely for Shimikaze. Like, when we saw the opening, like, you're like, I like that girl, the one with the striped red and white tights. Like,
right, yeah.
She's so awesome looking. I watched Kimono Friends for the Shoebill girl. Like, I love that design. And, like, although this may be sort of pushing it on the Maniwani from Katanagatari are sort of anthropomorphic. They are...
Well, yeah, but that's... I think that you have to almost draw, like, a dissection between... Because there are, like... people dressed as whatever and then actually having parts of it. Like, there, even within anime, there are girls that just happen to be dressed up as like with cat ears on them, and there's some that legitimately like have cat ears. So I think that there's a little bit of a distinction between those, but I do agree that the Maniwani Ninja people Maniwani from Katanagatari, they like Ho has like legit bird arms and like talon feet and stuff. So I think that those are actually really cool designs.
Yeah.
Like, it must have been a ton of fun to go through the 12 shadows and start designing all of them.
Yes. I think that is pretty much it. I mean, I think you said it best. Like, girls are cute, animals are cute. We smushed them together, and we created this adorable catastrophe. So,
But the thing is, like, yes, like, cats are cute. Dogs are cute. I still think the Monster Musume is, like, really... That was a shot in the dark that, like, paid off really well for them.
okay.
But I think that was, like, they're treading the line really, like...
So you don't think anything can go further than
I don't
Monster
think
Musume?
I don't think if it goes further into monsterification that people would enjoy the show anymore.
Right. Like, if a girl is more than 50% monster,
Right.
then it's just
Then,
bestiality.
yeah,
you know?
exactly, right.
So, all right. So, real quick, if this sounds a little bit different, this is Kyle post recording. We had a little bit of an audio issue. We think Hunter's mic is acting up a little bit, so we lost some audio. Not too much of it, but one portion that was pretty bad was answering questions. So I wanted to go back and re-answer Lolita's question that she asked this week, which was, would you ever date someone who does not like anime? And for me, I think your phrasing is very specific. So no, I don't think I would ever date someone who doesn't like anime, but I don't think I'd date anyone who doesn't like a hobby of mine. But if you were to ask me, do I have to date someone that watches anime? The answer would be no. I just would like to date someone who is open and doesn't show, too much ignorance when it comes to, or maybe I should say closed-mindedness when it comes to anime or each other's hobbies. But at the same time, it's also extremely difficult to not have anime be a focus in dating and trying to find a partner, because that is literally the best way to get close to someone and to find someone. The first words out of anyone's mouth is like, oh, so what are you into? And anime is typically a turnoff. I would never say that outright. So, man, like, dating for people with really specific hobbies, specifically nerdy hobbies, is just really tough. Hunter doesn't really have that problem. His girlfriend is by no means a hardcore fan. Not that he really cares either way. But, they watch Ghibli movies and they've seen Your Name and they enjoyed it and have a good time, and that's that. But it's not really a main focus or the main focus in their relationship by any means whatsoever. Now, the conversation picks back up once Mayval, who is in the Twitch chat, says, I lose trust in someone who says they don't like anime.
Anybody that liked the latest Pixar film would love watching Your Name, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, it's totally, well, maybe not relatable. I'm not going to spoil it, but I don't think maybe it's not relatable, but it's like, I think that everybody can get something out of watching that movie. And I don't think that I think it would be really weird for somebody to just be like, no, fuck it. It's Japanese and it's animated. I'm not watching it because I don't watch that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think it's really like hard-headed. Holy shit, that's a drink.
Yo.
That's
Ryuko titty.
Yes, Ryuko titties.
Yeah, like, ignorance is one of the few things that makes me really angry towards someone or something. Like,
Maybe I had a good point. It's like telling me you don't like fictional stories.
yeah, so.
Yeah, I get all hot and bothered going to the nonfiction section and just reading up. It's like, have you ever had this happen? Like, so you have a band. It's like or an artist. I hate Kanye West, and then like you're just hanging out in the supermarket or the gym or whatever, and a song comes on, and you're like, this is pretty cool, and then you find out who it is, and it's Kanye, and you're like, fuck, goddamn.
No, he got me.
Like, no, I hate all Kanye. We have a quick question from Jello Monster. What are your opinions on Konosuba?
Oh, Konosuba is fantastic. Probably one of the best comedies in the past 5 years, maybe. Yeah, it's fantastic. It made my top 10.
Is this something that I should watch?
Yeah, if you want a good comedy, yes.
I mean, so here's my dilemma. I'm kind of in the mood to watch something, just kind of start to finish and binge through it or whatever, especially since we're nearing the end of the season. So if you had to pick one of anything that's currently airing, or even if it was like last season and you were just like, yeah, you missed it, it was really good, you should watch it, what would that anime be?
Completely depends what you're into and what you feel like watching.
That's such a cop out.
No, it's not. It's really not. It's not like this was the best anime of the season. I think like the best for me, like if someone were to give a recommendation for me for the season, it would be Kuzuno Honkai because I love, like the sexuality in that show. But if I knew someone who loved comedies, it would be no question Konosuba. It's really hard to say. Like, I think Rakugo is a masterpiece, but I don't know if it will appeal to everyone. I'll give you a suggestion depending on what you feel like watching.
I think I will try the first episode of Konosuba, see what happens.
It's 2 seasons, so season 2 is airing right now.
Season 1 is good, though?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll try it out.
We'll keep answering questions throughout the series, and maybe at the end of the episode we'll do some more for people in the chat. But for now, let's move on to what we're watching. We just watched episode 7 of Katanagatari.
Episode 8 of Katanagatari, and let me tell you, they are just going full ham with like, oh, it's a sword, but it's not a sword, ha ha ha.
Got you again, bitch.
Yeah, I want to see him bring back actual swords, because the actual swords, like the designs of them are so cool, and it's really interesting to see. It's like all of the different like specialties these swords would have. Like
sure.
I think my favorite one so far is the like super light phantomy sword, where it's like,
oh yeah.
So he can move at the speed of light or some crap. Like, that's super cool. The second episode, the ninja or the samurai guy that like sat
in the room.
In the
that
temple.
Was cool. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's my favorite sword so far. But as far as this one, I do like seeing Shichika start like fucking around more and stop being so serious.
Yeah, he's becoming a human.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's really cool to see his change from being like this, cold, stern, just like emotionless shell of a person into actually like having some sort of personality. It's pretty cool.
Exactly. Yeah. This was the first, well, not the first, but it was a very symbolic episode about how this android type robot was similar to Shichika, because he is just a katana, and it actually had a lot of Togame in the design as well, how she had like mismatched eyes. So I felt like it was a very good representation of the characters kind of overcoming their past in a sense. So Shichika's a lot more human, yet he's fighting this thing that is just a katana, and Tokame is someone who's always facing her past and trying to avoid it, and yet she's fighting this thing that almost looks similar to her now and has the mismatched eyes. So I really liked that about this episode. Well, dang. This is Kyle from the future again. Apparently, we had some more audio problems, of course, but this is where we moved into where I started talking about what I'm currently watching, and I rambled about Rakugo, of course, a bit, and how I really do think it has the potential to be a masterpiece, but I do worry that because of the content and the subject matter, that it's not, inherently flashy or outstanding, that I do wonder if this will turn into a hidden gem in the future. Right now, it has its popularity going for it, but who knows where it will be in 5 to 10 years. Hunter did ask if he were to watch one thing this season, if it should be Rakugo, and I don't really know if it really suits his taste. Of course, the biggest thing I wanted to talk about this week was Fuka. Everyone has been, talking about that one potential spoiler from the manga, and everyone's been talking about that, and it finally didn't happen this week. So the big twist of the show is that it really is not going down the route of the manga. If you don't want to hear, I would mute for about, a minute to be safe starting now. But in the manga, Fuka abruptly dies, or at least is hospitalized. She gets hit by a truck, and that scene almost happened as a joke to people who knew it was going to happen, because the truck almost hit her and it stopped and she got away. So the conversation picks up here. Oh my gosh, that's the most booty we've had.
That's a lot of butt, dude.
So we got to take a drink. So yeah, people just don't know where the show's going. It's completely different from the manga now, and that was like the biggest shock of like anything I'm watching.
I think that's really cool. I think that can totally backfire on them because now people are gonna want to like have, what is it, Fuka?
Yeah.
Like Fuka Brotherhood, or I'm just gonna say it like
Right.
that, but like
I mean, yeah, it makes you question like what is the correct path, or if they're just doing two separate stories. Like this is if she lived, this is
we've
if she
talked
died.
about the fact that sometimes adapting something for anime versus manga is like something that you should do, and I think we both agreed that you should be able to change the story a little bit when you go into the video format. But I do think it's interesting that you could get two stories, but you have to read them in different mediums.
Right. I mean, it's a little worrisome because it's kind of following this visual novel path, which is like, if you don't choose girl A, like this is girl B path, and I don't
It's
really
like choose your own
that.
adventure.
Yeah, I don't love that, but it's interesting. Let's see. Mayval asked a question. Katanagatari was a nice semi-abstract series. Some of the most abstract series tend to have more impact than others. Not in this, this is so artistic kind of way, but in a this gave the story a depth kind of way. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think that kind of wraps it up.
Yep.
Before we wrap up, I'd like to make one quick announcement. We started a Patreon. Although it may seem like we just sort of show up and hit record, we both actually work really hard to make the podcast as good as it is. We have
As it is, you're assuming it's good.
No, I do think it's really good. I put a lot of work into this. So we have a really fun time recording the episodes, but I also spend a lot of time editing, uploading the podcast, and thinking of topic ideas and researching topics. And I think we've been doing this long enough and consistently enough to show you guys that we're serious about the podcast. And right now we pay $15 a month to host the podcast on SoundCloud. And it would be a dream come true if we had 15 patrons paying $1 a month to show their support. Like, I can't even imagine if someone to give us $2 a month. That would be just literally insane. I'll post a link with the Patreon if you want to support us, and we'll see how it plays out. So with that being said, please keep sending us questions or opinions on anime you're watching. You can send questions to us anywhere. We're at theweeabooze on Twitter, theweeabooze on gmail.com, theweeabooze on Instagram, I'm Secret Otaku on Tumblr, or just leave a comment on wherever you're listening. Word of mouth is honestly the best way to promote our podcast, so it really helps when you guys reblog the episodes or share it in whatever way works best for you. If you haven't already, click the subscribe or follow button on whatever platform you prefer, because seeing our fan base grow really makes us happy, and we want to thank Hentai Dude and...
Kid Buu changed his name to Kuwagata. I found that out like a couple days ago. So
Sorry.
I hope we haven't been fucking that up for like a year. And then beyond that, I have a list of names that reblogged. Eknolan.
Yeah.
I don't want to fuck it up.
Just read them.
Eknolan, Mint-Chi, Lolita, Clear Love, Gory Pancakes, that's disgusting.
I like it.
Del Grey, Archive Zero, The Waffle Man, best name, and Pensive Loki. So some names that we've seen on there before. Thanks, guys. It's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's like... It blows me away that like literally anybody wants to listen to us. So
No,
it's like...
I can't believe more people don't listen to us.
How about Sangatsu no Lion?
Yeah, it has its ups and downs, but I definitely think it is one of the much better things airing over the course of these past 2 seasons. Yeah, I know I don't get into the depth of like what I'm watching because it's really hard if we don't talk about it on a week-to-week basis, and if I don't do it with someone else who's watching it, then I'm just talking to myself, and
No, you're talking to Mayval.
Oh, okay, well then Mayval can tell me what he thinks about it. Let's finish the show, and I'll keep answering questions after. So
Fine.
We want to thank everyone for the music. Thank you for coming to the live stream. Like always, get
Drunk.
and
Anime?
see you guys next week.
Catch me smoking a sour off the coast of Okinawa. Feeling so high like I'm Ho-Oh in that tower. Take a flight on some shit. Got my dogs riding beside me, blazing hot. That's kamikaze, sacred fire. Don't be mad, I'm lit. Catch me smoking a sour off the coast of Okinawa. Feeling so high like I'm Ho-Oh in that tower. Take a flight on some shit. Got my dogs riding beside me, blazing hot. That's kamikaze, sacred fire. Don't be mad, I'm lit.
I'm gonna step away from the mic for a sec to stop the recording, not the podcast. I mean, not the live stream, but.
Oh yeah. Like simultaneously.
Entertaining, Hunter. No, don't.